We have just witnessed the birth of the next NBA dynasty, right with our own very two eyes, or if for some unfortunate reason you have one eye, I apologize. But this Denver Nuggets team is potentially the next great dynasty in the NBA. They've got their Kobe and Shaq with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. And they have a much better supporting cast than I feel like Kobe and Shaq ever had with KCP, Michael Porter Jr., who's going to take an absolutely insane leap this year, and Aaron Gordon. All three of those guys are... Aaron Gordon is a elite defender. Michael Porter Jr. is the number one option on about 10 teams in the NBA right now. KCP, elite defender. Aaron Gordon, much more than elite defender, though. They also got guys like Christian Brown. Losing Bruce will hurt. But with that being said, make sure to the like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit the subscribe button if you do enjoy today's video at any point. Now let's go ahead and get started. I think this Denver Nuggets team, if their bench unit develops the way I think it will, they're going to be a dynasty. They have been purely dominant this season. Looking at a repeat, I mean, they were dominant in the regular season, dominant in the playoffs. Looking at what they lost, Bruce Brown, that's really it. They lost Jeff Green too, but Bruce Brown didn't have enough money to bring him back. You see what the Pacers gave him, $22.5 million. That's a little bit of an overpay. 11.5 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 3.7 assists. I like it for the Pacers because they're really not paying anybody else anything, and you have that team option on the back end of it. 48% from the field, 36% from three, 1.1 steals. He was looking pretty good. Playoffs were about the same, 12 points a game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He was good. Really the sixth starter, Michael Malone said, for this Nuggets team, 51% from the field, 32% from three, 1.1 steals a game. So losing him is really going to hurt, but they're really going to have to rely on their youth. But even the starters, the guys that they have coming back, are not that old. Jokic and Aaron Gordon are both 27 going on 28. Jamal Murray, still a young gun at 25 years old. It just feels like he's been in the league forever. And then MPJ is still 23. He'll be 24 next season. He's still getting better and better. It's really only going to be his 4th year in the league next year. Now looking at the great duo, the next great duo, will we be looking at these guys like Kobe and Shaq in 15 to 20 years? Maybe. Jamal Murray, 20 points a game, 6.2 assists, 4 rebounds this year in the regular season. He was clearly just playing with his food in the regular season, though. In the playoffs, he turned it up a notch. 45% from the field, 40% from three, and 1 steal per game in the regular season. But he has established himself as one of the bigger playoff risers in the NBA, playing much, much better when it means more. 26 points a game, 7 assists, 5.7 rebounds. Yeah, he was doing it in the playoffs this year, essentially unstoppable. Speaking of unstoppable, you got the guy that should be the 3-time NBA MVP, Nikola Jokic, 24.5 points a game, 11.5 rebounds, 9.8 assists per game. So basically averaged a triple-double in the regular season on 63% shooting from the field, 38% from three, 1.3 steals per game. He's putting up absolutely insane numbers right now. 30 points a game, 13.5 rebounds, 9.5 assists in the playoffs. So he stepped it up even another notch, accounting for at least 50 points per game, which is just out of this world. 55% from the field, 46% from three. I mean, you cannot make it up. This dude is the best player in basketball right now, and I don't really think you can have a good argument against that. He just won the NBA championship, and he's the best player on that team. Speaking of a guy that I think is going to have a breakout year, MPJ. Now, he's already averaging 17.5, 5.5, and an assist. Of course, you're always betting the under there. But I think he's going to break out even more. On a lot of other teams in the NBA, he would be the number 1 option. But for this Nuggets team, he's the number 3 option. Some nights, the number 4 option. Shooting at 49% from the field, 42% from three. Again, that was only his 3rd full season due to all the back injuries he suffered coming out of college and stuff. And he's just gotten better and better every year. Now, he did cool down in the playoffs, but I think Michael Malone told him, hey, we don't need any one-pass, transition, fadeaway threes in the corner. But this man has so much talent, so much God-gifted ability. At 6'11", with the ability to pull up at any given moment, there's not much you can do for him. I think he's going to have a breakout season and establish himself as maybe a top 20 player in the NBA. Now, you got to look at two of the most important players in the NBA, and it's KCP and Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, because of his ability to really match up with anybody, and he even proved during the finals that he could be a mismatch nightmare on offense. And then Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, still an elite perimeter defender. He's going to go out there and he's going to help shut down the other team's best perimeter player. And then Aaron Gordon is really just going to guard anybody on the court. I think they had him on Jimmy Butler, and then they had him on Bam Adebayo. So it really changes minute to minute, honestly, depending on who's in the game. But Aaron Gordon's such a valuable weapon to have. And then you look at the replacements. I really hoped Thomas Bryant was brought back. He wasn't. So Peyton Watson, per 36 numbers, of course, 14.5 points, 7.5 rebounds. He's a guy that I think is going to have to take a huge step for them this year. Vlatko Konchar, I don't even know how to say it. I think he tore his ACL, though, so I doubt he even plays the season. Maybe he comes back later, depending on how severe the tear was. But his per 36s are good. He was really the only other depth piece that the Nuggets had, alongside of Christian Brown, who now has his finals experience. And then Thomas Bryant dipped to Miami. He would have been a monster for them this year at the backup center spot. You see the per 36 numbers for him. Would have been great, but unfortunately he is no longer a Nugget. So really it's going to be Christian Brown and Peyton Watson really having to step up. But Peyton Watson, I think, definitely can do it. He's a guy to watch for. However, you also got to watch for these guys that they picked up in the draft. They got Hunter Tyson, Julian Strawther, and Jalen Pickett. All three of these guys can absolutely shoot the three ball. Hunter Tyson really can shoot it at 6'8". Really, he can score from all three levels. Got a post bag, really good defender as well for his size. Jalen Pickett, just an absolute scorer, but he's also a pretty good playmaker, good facilitator. And then Julian Strawther, a good 3-and-D wing, really good defender. The three ball still coming along a little bit, but overall, Julian Strawther is going to be really, really good for this Nuggets team this year, I feel like. And the thing about the Nuggets is everybody is really on lockdown. There's nobody that, other than maybe like KCP, could opt out next year, but let's be real. KCP is not opting out of a $15.5 million player option. After that, Jamal Murray got his extension. Aaron Gordon has an opt-out the year following. But I don't think he's going to opt out either. I mean, he's making $23 million and winning championships. He's not going to opt out of that. Christian Brown under team control until 2026. Same thing with Peyton Watson. Both of those guys are going to be big pieces to their bench this year. Maybe we see Colin Gillespie, Jack White, Reggie Jackson, one of those guys making a big impact for the Nuggets off the bench this year. But I feel like this Nuggets team, with the guys that they got, it's just a team that you can really plug anybody in. And they play some of the best basketball of their career just due to the schemes, the offensive, what they're running, the system there. I think this Nuggets team, definitely the team to beat out West. Now, the Suns got better for sure. A lot of teams got better. The Mavs got better. Suns got better. Warriors are still good. Lakers, Clippers. So, I mean, there's a lot of competition, no doubt. But between Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, KCP, MPJ, that's a nice little duo there. And then Aaron Gordon. This squad is too deep. Not too deep, but the starting lineup is too good, in my opinion, for really anybody to come anywhere close to. If they lose, it'll be because of the bench. But again, I think with the rookies they drafted, the guys they got that can step up, the young guns, I think they'll be just fine. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like button and leave me a comment down below. It really helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.